Hi, my name is Bebe Edwards, speech language pathologist for Concierge Home Care serving the village of Gainesville. Today, I'm going to give you a general overview of how our swallowing system works and some ways to help you swallow safer. We all, as we age especially, have a little bit of a worry about choking, and we want to mitigate that as quickly as possible. So let me start by explaining how your swallower works. We have three phases. You have your oral phase, and you have your pharyngeal phase, and you have your esophageal phase. The oral phase is when you voluntarily put food in your mouth and chew it up and then swallow. Once you finish chewing and start your swallowing phase, then it goes into your what's called the pharyngeal phase. Once it hits the pharynx, which is in the back of your throat, your body makes a decision to shut your airway so that your esophagus will open up and you can complete the swallow and your food will go into your stomach. It sounds very simple, however, it requires a lot of precision in a very short period of time and often can be a little tiny bit disordered and it can cause issues. Sometimes it can be a lot disordered and cause issues, but it doesn't always have to be something that you need to worry about as long as you remember that you need to do a few things to increase your safety while swallowing. A lot of times we remember our mothers, and when we were little, we were told to not talk with our mouth full, pay attention to what you're eating, don't sing at the table. That kind of stuff was very good advice. Your mother was correct. You really shouldn't talk with your mouth full, although we all do it at one time or another. So safe swallowing strategies, as we call them in the business, are please sit up straight when you eat. Try to limit your distractions, i.e. not talking with your mouth full or totally getting absorbed in your television. Also, sitting straight up is very important. You want to help gravity do its job and not cause things to go the wrong direction. So, sit up straight. Don't talk while you eat, if you can help it. I cannot always help it. And take small bites and small sips. It's also a good idea to alternate bites and sips, especially if you're eating food that's a little bit dry. You would, however, want to get your mouth as clear as possible before you take the sip of that liquid. Now, that being said, there's all sorts of foods that we love that are slightly difficult on a spectrum of easy to swallow and difficult to swallow. But that doesn't mean you have to give up these foods that you like. Some of us really love soup, especially in the winter. And soup is great, but when you stop and think about it, soup is what we call a mixed consistency. It's made up of liquids and solids. And sometimes that can be confusing to your swallowing apparatus. So what I suggest you do is continue to love your soup, but just be a little bit more careful when you eat it. Take the liquids by themselves. And then drain the liquids off of the solids so that you have just solids in your spoon. I do love Campbell's. It's quite good. Also, fruit. Fruit cups are a big deal, and they're very healthy for you. We love to eat them. We love our fruit. But they, once again, also have liquids and solids. So that's rather difficult sometimes for us. So what you can do is you can pull out the solid and eat your solid. And then if you happen to be someone who likes the syrup, then you can have the syrup separately. This also holds true for cold cereal. Cold cereal is milk and solids, and that can sometimes be difficult to swallow. But if I know how most people are about their cold cereal, they love their cold cereal and do not want to give it up. So then once again, just try to think about draining off the solids and having the liquids separately, and that makes it a lot safer. Another item that we love, you're either a potato person or a rice person. I'm a rice person. I love my rice. Rice is sometimes difficult if you have some slight disorder of your oral phase because it goes all over your mouth without permission, going wherever the heck it wants to, and sometimes can cause difficulties with swallowing. And you'll cough and cough and cough with your rice. Gravy is your best friend. And if you're not a gravy eater, butter helps as well. And it causes the rice to stick together and make a more cohesive, what we call a bolus, but you could call it a bite, a more cohesive bite that stays together better when you are masticating it or chewing it. So it's a good thing. Gravy's a good thing. I always laugh and tease everybody and say I live in a gravy-based universe because most of my patients have swallowing difficulties. Another issue is you often hear speech pathologists talk about thin liquids, thick liquids, this kind of stuff. And people are like, I don't want to drink thick liquids. Ick, don't thicken my liquids. Well, fortunately, there are all kinds of things on the market that are already nectar thick. Quite tasty. Personally, I like V8 with no salt because I'm sensitive to salt. But these nectars, guava nectar, apricot nectar, you can get them in the grocery store at Publix. You can get them at Winn-Dixie. You can get them at a lot of the Hispanic grocery stores, Karen, and there's several brands of them, and they're all very tasty. They're just slightly thicker than regular juice. And the reason we want things thicker is because they just move a little slower and give your body a little bit more time to react to the swallow that's coming. Also, another quick tip is a big glass, when you get down to the bottom of it, you oftentimes have to tip your head back to drink when it gets low. When you tip your head back, that opens your airway a little bit more and makes it a little harder to get things down your food pipe and not your air pipe. So if you're having an issue, I suggest using a small glass. Small glasses, you can sip from them without having to tip your head back. So this is all just some practical advice to help keep you safe with your swallowing. Thank you very much and have a great day.